Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to show the proof that the Tories and Reform UK, as well as the Tory media, lied about the vote in Parliament yesterday. They claimed the amendment they were voting for to Labour's bill was for an additional inquiry into grooming gangs, whereas Labour claimed it was an amendment to wreck their own child protection bill. But because the House of Commons fails to do one very simple thing, it's no easy task to find out who is telling the truth. So here is the actual proof that it was the right-wing ghouls who were lying. But first, for daily political commentary, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out. So if you look up the votes in Parliament yesterday, you can see one. There was one vote, the reasoned amendment on children's wellbeing and schools bill. This was the Conservative amendment, which both they and Reform UK claims was to demand an additional inquiry into grooming gangs, even though the inquiry they're asking for has basically already taken place at national and local level. But never mind that, the amendment was not actually for an inquiry. They say it was, but it wasn't. It was an attempt to block the legislation itself. Finish it, kill it off. And this bill is designed to protect children from abuse. And as I've described a few times recently, like one of the things it does is place a legal duty to report suspicions of child abuse. The problem is, however, if you're a member of the public and you're looking at it, you go, well, who's telling the truth? So you go onto the House of Commons website, you look at the vote. It gives you the breakdown of who voted. You know, Conservative and Reform UK MPs are all saying that Labour MPs voted down an inquiry into the sexual abuse of children. Labour say the amendment was designed to block their child protection bill. But if you had to find out who was telling the truth, you would struggle because it doesn't actually tell you what the amendment was. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The House of Commons should post up the text of all amendments so that people can easily look them up. But they don't. It's almost like they're trying to make it easy for politicians and the media to lie about what is going on in Parliament. But this isn't a one-off. Happens all the time. In the past, I've sometimes spent ages, I mean a long time, trying to find the exact text of an amendment because different MPs will paraphrase what it's about. Oh, we're putting this in the amendment to do this, or, oh no, but it does this other thing. And it's like, can I just read it? Can I just read it? And sometimes you can. Sometimes you can find it because an MP puts it out there. But there is simply no easy way for a member of the public to find the text unless MPs or journalists decide to share it. So the public were left listening to Labour saying one thing, the Tories, Reform UK and much of the press saying another. Like, who are they going to believe? But thankfully, a couple of MPs have helped out. Saoirse Eastwood of the Alliance Party explained that amendments at this stage of the legislative process aren't for actually amending legislation, they're for killing it off. But Richard Burgon, currently an independent but elected as a Labour MP, posted the actual text, which is just like the most useful thing. You can see the bit about an inquiry was just tacked on at the end, but the motion begins as follows, quote, that this House, while welcoming measures to improve child protection and safeguarding, declines to give a second reading to the Children's Wellbeing and Schools Bill. Now, everything after that point is window dressing. The opening sentence of the amendment says that the bill should not proceed to the second reading. It explicitly is a motion to kill the bill dead. That's it, finished, doesn't go any further, it's in the bin. So when the likes of Lee Anderson said that Labour MPs were voting against an inquiry, he was lying. The truth is, he voted to stop key people, including teachers, having a legal duty to report child abuse. Now, teachers and similar professionals are, of course, supposed to report suspicions of child abuse, but currently there is no legal requirement to do so. This bill would change that, and all of the Reform UK MPs, as well as the vast majority of Conservative MPs, voted to leave children without this and other basic legal safeguards. In fact, the further text in the amendment even suggests that the authors recognise that this would, there's various points in the motion when you read it where they recognise that this actually would help safeguard children, but they don't like it because freedom bollocks. The entire text has got absolutely nothing to do with grooming gangs. The term is only used in literally the last two words because they added it on at the last minute as part of the com. And the last line, and you might look at it and you know, if you're showing this to other people, and please do, and they might go, oh, but it does mention at the end, it mentioned at the end. Think the process through. If the amendment had passed, there would be no inquiry. The bill would be finished. That first line said at that point, if it had been voted in favour of, at that point, the bill is dead. How does the inquiry happen? An amendment requesting an inquiry would just say, like, a normal amendment is like, okay, we want to change the bill. You know, we want to insert this line, or we want to take this line out, or just want to change the wording here. That's an amendment. That is you amending the bill, but otherwise saying, yeah, but the bill should absolutely proceed. This wasn't. That first line says the bill should stop, and that's it. Tear it up, throw it in the bin. So anything after that doesn't do anything. You know, the bill would be dead in the water. Nothing would happen. Not the legal duty to report abuse or an inquiry. They could have asked for a ton of Easter eggs to be delivered to the house of the leader of the opposition. Would have made no difference. Every word after that first line, stopping the bill from proceeding, is just fluff. And every single MP knew this because they had a copy. Every single journalist reporting on it knew because they had a copy. It's just us, the pissing public who pay all their wages, who struggle to get hold of what is actually going on in Parliament, these documents, easily. Because there's two places you should be able to get this. First of all is the vote. Once the vote's taken place and they put up the results, they should put the text. If it's a vote for the bill itself, there should be the text of the bill in its current form. If it's for an amendment, it should be the full text of the amendment with the names of the people who proposed the amendment, right? It's not there. The other place it should be is on the business for the day, because you may want to see it before the vote. So you can go on to House of Commons business and you can go on to yesterday's date and you can find this thing. You can open it up and there's loads of documents, by the way. Oh, absolutely loads. You've got 3 versions of the bill itself in various formats. You've got explanatory notes. You've got briefing papers. You haven't got the document that was actually voted on yesterday. Because you might get excited. You might see one bit, say, oh, amendment. Oh, let's look at that. No, because that's just the successful amendments that have already taken place. That is not the vote that happened yesterday. There is not a single document on the House of Commons website in either of those places that actually says what the amendment was. However, thanks to one MP at least for sharing it, you can read the text for yourself and maybe show it to others who were taken in. I find it utterly disgusting that so many MPs would engage in such dishonesty over such a sensitive subject as this. Are there like no limits? Including the tellers, 103 out of the 109 Conservative MPs eligible to vote, because remember, a couple of deputy speakers aren't allowed to vote. So there's 119 Conservative MPs who are eligible to vote. 2 of them were tellers for the vote, and 101 voted for it. So that's 103 backed this bill, that backed this amendment, to kill the bill. They voted to kill off a child protection bill that they knew was a child protection. It's not like they're saying, oh, it's only called that, but it doesn't really protect children. No, they've admitted it protects children. They still tried to kill it off. And they had the nerve to claim that they were doing it in the interests of abused children. And they've done that because they know it's not easy to find the text of the amendment. And it is absolutely sickening. And if my MP had voted for this, I would be emailing them with a copy of the text of the amendment, and I would be asking them 2 questions. First, why they voted to kill off a bill designed to protect abused children, when even the wording in the amendment they voted for says that, yes, this would protect children. And second, why did they feel the need to lie about their reasons for doing so? I would then be tempted to write an article for the local paper with the full truth and the response, if any, from that MP. But my MP did not. Maybe yours did. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, please click the like button and subscribe for further content. If you'd like to support the channel further, you can click the join button for memberships. Thanks for listening, and until next time, I'll see you later.